I want you to take just a few moments and I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine that you are playing in a championship game. Now, this is a really big deal, but here's the catch. This championship game is your fourth game in less than 72 hours. I want you to imagine how you would feel, how your legs would feel, how tired your body would be, how mentally tired your mind would be. See, this is the reality for soccer players all over the United States every single weekend. My name is Andrew Tomlinson, and I want to take just a few moments today to discuss with you on why the United States youth soccer system needs to be fixed. Coming from a soccer player myself that has gone to tournaments all across the nation, and I've been involved in the United States youth soccer system since I was 3 years old, after extensive research, I feel as if I am a credible candidate to bring to you today why the system needs to be fixed. The United States youth soccer system needs to be fixed because it is too expensive for players, it is creating burnout, and it is increasing the risk of players getting injured. I want to talk to you today on the cost, the burnout, and increased injury risk. And that brings me to my first point today, cost. I want to talk to you about something today called pay to play. Pay to play is the system that we have in the United States. Pay to play means that if you want to play, you have to pay some sort of monetary amount. I'm going to use my home club, for example, Kentucky Rush. Our old cost was $300 per season. This included fees and stuff that you had to do at the very beginning of the season. And now we have bumped up our prices this year, and it is $700. This doesn't include jerseys. Jerseys will run you about $200. And if you go to a tournament, you're going to spend even more money on coaches' fees, tournament registration fees, and hotels. This doesn't counting travel for gas and all hotels and all sorts of other fees that you're going to have to pay on the weekend. The United States youth soccer system is extremely expensive. Now, I also want to introduce you to something called stay to play. Stay to play is when you go to a tournament and this tournament has certain hotels that each team has to stay at. You're allowed to pick which hotel you go to, but you have to stay at one of the tournament's hotels. And usually these are very high-end hotels. So you're not just paying the tournament registration fee, you're not just paying a coach's fee, but you're also paying for a very expensive hotel on the weekend. You can see where this becomes extremely expensive for youth soccer players, and many players can't afford it. Now I want to tell you what the European model is. The European model, and the model pretty much wherever you go, anywhere except for the United States, is that every player will play for free. There is no fees, there is no jersey cost, and there is no tournament costs. Clubs get their money back, and they earn money by selling players. If you're a little club, you sell your best players to the big clubs. If you're a big club, maybe you sell one of your players that isn't as good to a smaller club, or you take your best players and develop them, and when they break into the first team and they are playing full professional soccer, you can sell them for millions of dollars if they're playing well. And that brings me to my second point. The United States youth soccer system needs to be fixed because of burnout. What is burnout? Burnout is when a player loses their love for the game and no longer wants to play the sport that they used to love and what they used to enjoy doing. They no longer have an enjoyment for it. In a recent study done by the American Academy of Pediatrics, 70% of youth athletes quit their sport by age 13. And I personally believe this is caused by an increased game schedule, increased practice schedule, and travel schedule. Many teams are training every single day, and then you leave on a Friday, you go to a tournament, you play Saturday and Sunday, and you come back on Sunday. And next thing you know, you're back at it on Monday on the training ground with your team. And all of this can cause burnout for a player. When you do what you thought you enjoyed doing so much, you eventually start to lose your love for it because it feels almost like it's more of a job. Now, my third point today is an increased injury risk. According to Project Play, over the past 15 years, there has been a 26% increase in serious knee injuries among teen athletes. Just a couple weeks ago, I traveled to Las Vegas, Nevada, where I played 4 games in less than 72 hours. With all this strain on your body, with all these bumps and bruises that you pick up, it's hard not to get injured. There are teams that are going every single weekend or every other weekend and playing in these tournaments like this. And as a teen, while we may still be young, you can't keep this up forever. You will eventually start to wear down and your muscles can't keep up with the demand that you're putting on them, and you're going to get injured. There's no getting around it. With all this load on your body, there's an increased risk for injuries, and players aren't taking the necessary precautions to avoid those injuries. And it's not being promoted the necessary precautions to avoid those injuries. When I come home from a tournament, it takes me sometimes 3 to 4 days before my body fully recovers and I'm back feeling better as I was before the tournament. Doing these tournaments and these 4 games in 72 hours and sometimes 3 games in 48 hours, it's unrealistic for your body. And that brings me to my conclusion. The U.S. youth soccer system needs to be fixed because it is too expensive, it is creating burnout, and there is an increased injury risk for the players. See, if we don't do something to fix the system, we will never catch up to the rest of the world in terms of youth development. The United States likes to talk about how we've never won a World Cup. Our national team has never won a World Cup. Our national team has never had a lot of success on the world stage. Our best players are only mid-range players whenever they go abroad. But this is because of the United States youth soccer system. We have to change how we develop our players. And if we don't change, then we're never going to see the success that we want to see. Thank you.